Well, everybody, got a video request here from a young man out in the UK, and he didn't say whether he wanted me to mention his name, so we'll just say he's a young man from the UK. Hey, Cappy, I'm 22, and after watching your videos, you've inspired me to start a business. Said business will be buying anime figures from Japan and reselling them in my country, the UK, out of my bedroom. My plan would first be buy 3 or so pre-order figurines. It would be about 120 quid, expenses inclusive of shipping. That look to have some hype around them. A cheap one, a more moderately priced one, and an expensive one. And see if they sell. I looked at prices, shipping, import, and I think I could make about $10 to $20 profit on each one. First, I would use eBay, and if all went well, which for me is making profit on my items for a few months, register as a business, start branding, and make my own website, or try to become an Amazon seller. Being realistic, I wouldn't see this as anything other than a nice small earner on the side to supplement my real job while doing something I'm interested in. As I said, I'm 22. I have no background in business or economics. I have a full-time job working in a school lab. No, I'm not a teacher before you shit yourself. I get there when the kids do and leave when they do, as well as have 12 weeks a year off. There you go. That's smart. That's the way to do it. Which leaves me with a lot of free time, relatively speaking. I'm still living with my parents, and after bills, rent, car, stuff, and student debt, I have over 900 pounds each month. Within the United States, I think it's like 1.5 times. So he's bringing in the cash. With about 15,000 pounds in the bank because I'm a tight fuck who doesn't like to part with my... Good man. Wanted the captain's opinion before I pull the trigger. So what's your advice on my situation? What I'm going to do? What should I even do? Okay, a couple things here. And apologize to me for taking notes because there was one other thing I wanted. Bachelor off. Capital. And what was the other thing? There was something that just jumped in my mind. No capital. First I'd use eBay. Okay, alright. School lab. Oh, maybe I did at least per hour. Okay, here's the deal. Your idea is fucking brilliant. And the reason it's brilliant is because there's no risk. I mean, you might lose your, what is it, your 120 quid. And it's also scalable, which means you can trial run it. Like, you're sending in, like, a probe into the nebula like they did on Star Trek, and you're just going to see what happens. And if you lose your 120 pounds, that's it. And you get 3 figurines no one bought. All right. But you don't want to overscale it by 120,000. But it's perfect because, again, I have a video called Low Capital Investment Companies. And low capital investment means exactly this. You don't go and buy a factory and then hope your widgets sell. You're buying a little bit, this little pocket change that you could afford to lose. And you can always scale it up later. In other words, you're not borrowing money to pay for this. You're using your cash flow from your job. I think it's brilliant. And you're doing it out of your bedroom. You're staying at home banking real cash. You got more money than 95% of the American 22-year-olds, probably the UK type people as well. It's great. You're doing it exactly right. And you are also realistic. It's not like you think, yeah, I'm going to make millions of dollars. You're like, yeah, you know, maybe a little bit of beer money. Now, down the road, what will happen? I call it mountain theory. Like, when you climb mountains, you can only see from the bottom up, and you can eyeball what the best path is. But it's not until you get up on some of the foothills or you get up on another mountain do you get perspective and context and know, oh wait, I really should go this way back down the mountain. Or I could go up that mountain over there. And it's the same thing with business. The more and more business moves you make, you get higher and higher up, and you get different vantage points. So what will happen is, like, a couple months will go by, and all of a sudden you'll say, holy crap, there's like a lot of money to be made on these particular weird figurines. And they may be $2,000 a piece, but you can make $3,000 if you sell. So that is what's going to happen. But as you're doing it right now, absolutely brilliant. Just start small, and you'll get an idea, and then you can, if you do change your business model at all, there's that. I do like everything's going to be sold online. I don't know why you wouldn't just stick with eBay or Amazon. You could maybe set up your company, start a brand name if you wanted. The real issue there is with your brand name is that then you need exposure. You need people to say, oh yeah, we got to go to BillsUKAnimeShop.com. And that, I think, will take over, Don't try and brand name your company until you know you got a company that's profitable. You want to continue forward with it. But if you do that, then that's going to require that you put ads and get some cachet, internet cachet in the geek world. So I'd contact Chris Betcheloff. Look him up, Betcheloff. He's got a podcast. Landsharkattacks.blogspot.com. I'm sure you know of other, comic book IT type guys, geek culture and all that. I don't know if you'd set up a stall at one of the, Comic-Con or one of those big things. But yeah, just start off small, go on the internet, try and do that, get some exposure that way. About the only thing I would say is 10 to 20% on, let's say optimistically, 20% markup on 120, so that's 24 pounds, so that's $50. $50 for how much work? Because you say, 50, or what, 24 pounds. Is that worth your time? Because, yeah, there's going to be some upfront investment of time setting up a website, getting suppliers, stuff like that. But by the time it takes you to take an order and then sell it, you got to take it. You got to go down to the post office. You got to put it in the package. You got to buy the package. When that's all said and done, what were you getting paid per hour? If you could streamline it and the profit margins are high enough, you could make some good coin. Yeah, absolutely. And fucking A, you're selling toys. How fucking cool is that? It's like, sometimes I don't really make my $100 an hour on the asshole consulting video, but I don't care. What the fuck, this is awesome. So if you're like selling toys, that's pretty freaking cool. It may not be worth, but still make sure it is worth your time. So maybe do some number calculation, because, boy, I love the reality shows. I love the reality shows with Chef Ramsay and Restaurant Impossible and the bar turnaround one, where they go into these bars and restaurants and these fucking idiots do not. The Prophet, that's another one I like. These idiots don't do accounting. They never take the time to sit down and not figure out whether it's worth their time. Figure out whether they're making fucking money or not. Now, you don't sound that stupid. You sound much more intelligent than these people. So make doubly sure that it is worth your time. And I know you may have that emotional attachment, like, it would be really cool to sell toys. Yeah, it would be fucking cool to sell toys. But if it ain't going to provide you more than beer money or, but yeah, definitely try it. Because if you can streamline it, man, if you can or you find out, there's another way that no one else in the industry is thinking about how to make these monies, you get a really good supplier down in Japan, whatever, and you can make a living doing this, oh, fuck it, man. You got the dream. You're living the fucking American dream, even though you're across the pond. So, yes, absolutely, you must pursue it. Your time investment, your money investment, and this would be absolutely nothing. If it worked, it'd be great. And even if it didn't work, you got beer money. So that's it. Anyway, that's go kick ass. We're all proud of you. Toodles.